Welcome to Tech Brother with Ahmed. Today we are going to learn how to create fix with text file from SQL Server table, and we will add date time to it after that. First of all, we have to have some data from in SQL Server table according to our requirement. So we have test database, and I have created one of the table with few of the records. We can create a select query and see how many records we have. Okay, so in this table I have 4 records. All right, so this is our query. That's what we are going to use in our SSIS package. All right, let's go back and open our SSDT or bits, whatever we have according to version of SSIS installed. Okay, so once your SSDT or bids open, if you don't have a SSIS project already created, you can go ahead and create one. If you have already, you can open one. So I have one already, so I'm going to open it. All right, okay, now our project is opened, and we have to create a new SSIS package. Okay, right click on SSIS packages, go to new SSIS package. A new package is created with the name package 3. Rename this one, so we can rename this one as a fixed with file. Okay, now to read the data from SQL Server table and write the data to the text file, we need the data flow task. Inside the data flow task, we need to use source. The source will be OLEDB source. So go to sources, okay, and drag OLEDB source to the data flow pan. Okay, open it, make a connection. If I had been using this connection already in different packages, that's why it's pop up. I can delete it and recreate it. Okay, so you can click here. You can always write the name excuse me, of SQL Server here instead of clicking on the drop down. Drop down time take whole lot of time, if you have a lot of servers on the network. So in my case I don't have it, so I just clicked it. But writing name is much easier sometime, instead of clicking here. So test connection. Okay. Excuse me. And now we have to use our query that we have written, the select query, to extract the data. So okay, we are going to use that query. Copy the query from your SSMS. Always run your query and make sure it is working, so you can go back and test your query. Just don't write it query and bring it here, and you will keep getting error. You cannot really debug here. Otherwise it's a wastage of time. And if you want to even go query builder and click here, and you can build your query here, from the table and all. But I recommend going to SSMS and write your query and test it there, and then bring it here. All right, go to columns, click here. All the columns are coming correctly. I didn't do any renaming or anything. I can do it. I can write case statements, or if I have to join data from multiple tables, I can use everything here in the query, and that should determine the results, what are required results. Click OK. So the next part is bring the flat file destination. All right, okay, click here, and now create a new connection. So in this case, what we are going to do, we are going to use dragged right. The columns are defined by fixed width except the last one, which is delimited by the new line character. So that's what we are going to use to create the fixed width file. Hit OK. All right, so now it is asking us, where do you want to create the file? So browse, and I know on my desktop I have a folder called output folder. So that's where I want to create the file. What name I want to give to the file? Right now I can use fixed with underscore customer. Okay, and the extension, it is asking you, do you want CSV or you want TXT? I'm fine with the TXT. Okay, now the next part is leave these one everything as it is. We don't need to make any changes. Click here as we want the column names in the first row, and now go to columns. All right, and leave this one as it is as well. Go to the advanced, and here you can change the width of the columns. So in my case, ID the width for ID is 11 characters. I can change it if I want it. F name, I have first name. I can also change the first name, F name to first name in my file, and the total width of this column is 100, and the names are mostly like they are not going to be 100, but somebody created a table with 100 worker 100, that's why it is giving us the 100. I can change this one to maybe 50, okay, and then hit enter. Go to the last name. I can also change the name last name, and then this one I know that most of the time it's not more than 20, let's say. I'm not just making random assumptions. If I want to really do it, I should take the max length of that column and see what is the max length in that column name, and give another 5 characters if feel like there could be names there longer. But if in this example we don't have those long names here, so I'm just giving telling you how to change it. So it depends on your data how long the values are in the column. So in this case it is 100. I'm going to change this one to 50 as well, okay, and I can change this one to the street address. Okay, so here I have phone number. If I don't want a phone number, I want phone and hash sign, I can use this one. This is 10. Width of this one is 10 characters, so that's fine. Okay, so we can preview the data. So ID, first name, last name, street address, and whatever it is shown, other columns it will show here. All right, so we can hit preview. Okay, and now override data in the file. If we are creating a file with the same name over and over, and we want to every time refresh the data, we can leave this one as it is. In this case, what we are doing, we are going to create the file with the date time. So every time the new file will be created. So we can leave this one here, doesn't matter, because every time a new time will be set on execution, and the new file name will be generated, so doesn't really matter. Go to mapping. Now if the input columns have the exact same name like output columns, then yes, they are going to match automatically. But in our case we have changes. So first name is going to be first name, F name, last name is going to, L name is going to be last name, and our address is going to map to the street address, and phone number is going to map to the phone hash or phone number. All right, hit OK. Now next step is run this SSIS package and see if the file is generated. Okay, the 4 rows are read from the OLEDB source, that's a SQL Server table inside, and we have written 4 records to the flat file. Let's go to the output folder and check if the file is there. Okay, the file is generated, and now we can see that a fixed width file is created, but the only thing is this file does not have any date time with it. So what we want to do, we want to create a file with the date time. Let's say at the end we want to add a date and then time every time the file will be created. So if our package is running multiple times in a day, so we want to create multiple files. All right, so I can delete this file, doesn't really matter. I'm going to leave this one as it is for now. And now let's come back, stop our SSIS package, and add the date time to it. There are multiple ways to do it. I have done by using going to the flat file connection manager properties and expressions, and then writing the expressions there. Okay, I have created a variable and then wrote the variable to create a date time in that variable, and I have done that part as well in other videos. So if you guys want to take a look, you can go and say how to create the pipe delimited or tab delimited or comma delimited flat files from a SQL Server table. Those are the videos. You can take a look and see how I have written the expression in a different way. In this one, what I want to introduce you, I want to use the expression task here to create the values. So first of all, what I want to have a variable called folder path. Okay, in this one, this is going to be string. All right, and the value of this is the path what we have to provide. Okay, paste it here, and I'm putting backslash here so I don't have to write in expressions. Okay, the next part is we need a date time, right? So we are creating a date time variable that's going to be string as well. Okay, and now what I want to do, I want to have the date time extracted by using a getDate function in SSIS. So I can click here and write the expressions, but I want to show you how to use the expression task here. So I'm going to bring the expression task above the data flow task. Okay, and then write the expressions here. So I can bring the variable here date time and then say equal, and then I have to say get date. Okay, if I will do that, it is going to give me a second. It is throwing us an error. All right, so what we want to do, we want to convert this one to the string instead of date time. Sorry, get date has the date and time, so WSTR, and you can provide the length of in this case, let's say I'm not gonna keep it 30, so we can see that. So it is in false. Let's make it 50. Let me see. Okay, when we are setting the values to the variable here in the expression builder, we are supposed to put actually only one equal to. I have put the double equal. That's why it was given us it was not evaluating the expressions. So I have a get date and time from by using the getDate function, and I'm passing that or setting the value in the date time variable. So I need only date and time, and a time to the level of seconds. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the substring, and then 1,19. I know that this is going to extract me the date and the only time part, so that's fine. Now if I want to remove these hyphens, okay, so I will use replace, and then I will use a comma, double quotes, hyphen. That's what I'm going to replace with the let's say I don't want to replace with the underscore or anything. I just want to replace with no space. Okay, so I have just put the double quotes. So now I have year, day, and year, month, and day here. Okay, so I can put underscore between the day, date, and time. So let's replace the space what we have here. So we have put double quote, press one time space, double quotes, and now we want to put double quote, no space. So we are replacing the space with no space. You can do it, but here, sorry, we are replacing with excuse me, with underscore. So we have date, I have replaced the space with the underscore, and I have colons that I want to replace with the your choice. But in my case, let's say just replace it with the no space. All right, so here, so we have colons and no space. All right, okay, so we have written our expressions in expression builder, and we are setting the value of date time by using these expressions. So we can create one more variable, and then we can just we can call it full path. Okay, in this variable, what we are going to do, we are going to concatenate the value of the folder path and the datetime, and create a complete path for the file. So let's hit expression here. I could have done the same thing. I can bring another expression task here and set the value for this one, but I just want to show you how we can use even expressions here. If you're using SSIS 2005 or 2008 or 2, you don't have expression task there, so you have to go to expressions and write them. So you can press F4, if as you don't have this button there, so it will take you to properties and you can go to expressions there. Okay, so here excuse me, I want to use the full folder path, okay, plus the file name. I want to add the file name as a hardcore. I can always create a variable and then use that variable, and let's say the file name is fixed with customer, okay, and then underscore, and then what I want to do, let's evaluate it. Okay, fine, working it. And now we need to add the date time part to it. Okay, it's evaluated, but right now it's not showing us. That's fine, but it's not giving us error as well. So let's put the date time, because once it will execute it, the expression task is going to run, and that's where it is going to give us the value. So that's fine. We can add for now and then run it and test it. So we want to add .txt at the end of the file extension. Okay, so here there would be a date and time. Right now it is empty because the expression task didn't run. Okay, so it is evaluated correctly. Let's hit OK, and now the last step of what we have to do, we have to go to the file connection manager and then click the properties and then use this variable. Okay, so we go to the expressions, go to properties and connection string. Okay, in the connection string we are going to use the complete path that's going to be created, so we are going to use full path. Okay, so this is what it will be used every time a new file name will be generated with the date and time. Hit OK, and all right, so let's test our package. Hit start button. Okay, so it completed successfully. Let's go back to the folder and see if the file is generated. So we can see that the file is created with the date and time. Let's open it. So we can see that the file has all those records, and then the column names came correctly, the data came correctly. Okay, now let's go back and run one more time to make sure everything is working fine, and it is creating a new file every time we run it, because we are taking the name of the file to the level of seconds. So let's run it. All right, stop the debugging, go to folder, and yes, a new file is created again with the new time, as we are in the same day, and the minutes are changed. The first one was 26 and 50 seconds, and now it is 27 and 27 seconds. So every time you are going to run the package, it is going to create a new file for you. Thanks very much for watching the video, and you guys can visit us at sqla.blogspot.com for more blog for SSIS interview questions, DBA post, and whatnot. Thanks.